you've been on our show before because we like the Fiscal Challenge is one of our annual events, kind of like the
That's right.
Boston Marathon, which is being run the day we're recording this show. But for us, it's really interesting to look at the plans that the student teams come up with. But you founded this Fiscal Challenge a few years ago. Could you give us a little bit of background on what the basic idea is and what you hope students get out of it?
Sure, glad to. Thank you for having us on the show, not just for me, but for the students as well. It really gives them a voice. And that was one of the main reasons why I started this. It's a educational nonprofit. Started it back in 2013. When I was teaching, what I found was that we do a lot in college academics, public policy, economics departments, etc., on monetary policy, not a lot on fiscal policy. So I started a nonprofit with the goal of enhancing students' understanding of fiscal policy. So the way we do it, in which you were kind of hinting at, Bob, is every year we have a competition. Experiential education, I think, is the best. So what we do is in the fall, when the students get back from their summer breaks, I put out a call to action. And I say, very simply, solve the national debt problem. And they actually have the fall and the first part of the winter to devise a plan. And these are tremendous plans. And I think the three students you'll have here today will really give some great details. They work throughout the fall. They maybe will work if they're lucky with a faculty advisor, and they'll develop their plan. Specifically, I asked them to do this. Take the debt to GDP ratio, stabilize it over the next 30 years, those long-term CBO baseline projections. And they submit their plans to me in usually about early to mid-March. And I review them. I pick the top six, and I fly those top six to DC. We get a room of heavy hitters in the policy space, and they defend their plans. It's a great educational experience.
And I know that the challenge evolves over the years, not so much the challenge itself, but the plans. Have you noticed any trends over the years in the types of policies that the student teams concentrate on?
Yeah, that's really great. There was two things I noticed this year. One was political feasibility, and the second was growth. So political feasibility, you would think it's a divisive election. Maybe they're more cognizant of that. What really surprised me was growth. The target variable is debt to GDP. It's a fraction. And often in the past, students would focus in the numerator. I raise some revenues, I spend some dollars, but they often would overlook the dynamic effects for the denominator, right? Numerator and denominator. And so this year we had tons of great supply side stuff. Investments in transit, investments in broadband, human capital, apprenticeships, immigration, green cards, universal pre-K. That was one of the major new themes from this year that I saw, not in every team, but across many of them.